Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? We are back with another Enags in the NFL, again in a different location, at my mom's house this time. But without further ado, we got to get into our picks. On a bit of a heater this last week, we went 10-4 money line, 9-5 against the spread. 2 straight weeks where we were either 9 or 10 wins in each, so that is awesome. We're looking really good right now with our picks, so hoping to keep that momentum this week, and let's get it started. First game we've got is the Browns at the Colts. The Browns are 3-point favorites. This should be interesting. We don't know what is going on with Deshaun right now. Looks like Kareem Hunt and Greg Newsome did not practice. Anthony Richardson is done for the year, which is super sad. I loved AR. I thought he got a lot of hate coming out. Pretty unnecessary too. I think he had a lot of things that you look for in a quarterback, but he's done for the season, so we're going to get Gardner Minshew for the whole season, so I don't love that for them. Looks like Alec Pierce and tight end Kylan Granson did not practice on Wednesday, is from this report. It's tough. I don't think the Colts can be very good the rest of the year. My friend disagrees with me vehemently, but he's also a Colts fan, so he might be a little bit biased, but I think this Browns defense is really good. I think this is going to give Gardner Minshew fits, so I'm going to take the Browns to win and cover the 3.5. It's just I think if you have AR, I think this game gets a little more interesting. I think I could see the Colts covering, but I still think the Browns are going to win. They just pulled off a huge upset against the Niners without Deshaun, so if he plays, I think it just swings the pendulum in the direction of the Browns a little bit more. Next game, we've got the Commanders at the Giants. Commanders are 3-point favorites. Not too surprising to me. It looks like Daniel Jones was limited in practice with his neck injury. He was sidelined last week. Holy hell. The Giants had 15 people on their injury report. 5 didn't practice. Saquon was limited, and Graham Gano was limited. Montez Sweat was limited for the Commanders. Kendall Fuller didn't participate in practice, and Cameron Crowe was also limited. A lot of these, I feel like every time I talk about the injury report, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You don't really know what's going to happen there. But 3-point favorites for the Commanders seems easy, which is why I'm a little worried. It's a divisional game. The over-under is low, 37.5. I think Sam Howell has looked really good. I think his holding onto the ball too long is pretty funny. On the podcast I work at PFF, they just talk about it a lot, and it is super interesting. You see him ball out when he throws the ball, but sometimes, man, he holds onto the ball too much. Causes a lot of trouble for that offense. For me, I'm going to lean the Commanders to win and cover here. Right now, I do like a lot of favorites, which I don't like, but give me the Commanders to win and cover. I could see the Giants pulling off an upset and winning this game outright, but I'm going to take the Commanders to win and cover. Feel decent about that. Moving on to the Lions at the Ravens. One of the best games of the week. The Ravens are 3-point favorites right now. All 3 running backs were actually on the injury report for the Lions, so that's not great. Jahmyr Gibbs was limited. Craig Robinson was sidelined, and Dave Montgomery did not practice. Marcus Williams did not practice. Odafe Owe was limited, and Jadeveon Clowney was on a rest day. This is just such a fun matchup. You're going to see how the Lions compete against some of these top-tier teams, especially with the Ravens. You had Jared Goff ball out last week against the Bucks, and that he pretty much led them to that victory. So it's going to be interesting to see if he could do it again. It looks like their running backs are going to be super banged up. I don't know. This is a tough game. I don't love what the Ravens have done with their receiving weapons recently. They've kind of underwhelmed, if I'm being honest. Their defense is always going to be good. They're always going to play up to that Baltimore standard. But here, it's an interesting game. I think I am going to buy into the Lions, and I'm going to take them to win and cover the 3. If anything, I think it's a close game, so I think they cover. The winning is where it gets a little dicey. I mean, 3 points is a tough one. You're pretty much almost picking them to win if you pick the cover to 3. But I like the Lions. I think they can win this game. Their defense has looked really good. They're really good against the run. This is the first really rushing quarterback they are going to face. So I'm really interested. This is going to be a must watch on Sunday. We've got the Bills at the Patriots. Patriots they already have a lot of guys on IR from their defense, and it looks like they have a lot more players limited this week. Kyle Duggar, Trey Flowers, Jack Jones, Jabril Peppers, Sean Wade. Ramondre Stevenson was limited with an ankle injury for the Bills. Damien Harris, who left in an ambulance. He was released from the hospital, so that's awesome, but he's not ready to come back. Josh Allen was limited with a shoulder injury. Not too worried about that. It's not believed to be very serious. This one, again, I think the Patriots are really bad. I could see the Patriots covering this game. That might be where I'm leaning. Home team. They've had some success against the Bills. I think I'm going to pick the Bills to win and the Pats to cover. 8.5 points a lot. Divisional game, low total, so it's 40.5. I'm going to lean the Patriots to cover, Bills to win, just because I think they're the better team, but tough divisional game. I could see the Patriots keeping this one close. We've got the Cardinals at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 7.5 point favorites, I believe. And Kyler Murray came back, but he's probably not going to play this week. Jalen Thompson did not practice. Buda Baker returned from 20-day practice window, but he was limited, so I'm not sure what that means for him. DK did not practice. Tyler Lockett was limited, and Charles Cross was also limited. So This one again is going to be interesting. The Cardinals have been feisty, but I feel like they're getting less feisty as we progress here. I don't think they've covered in either of the last 3 weeks, so they might be due. The Seahawks looked good against the Bengals, so I'm going to give the Seahawks the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them the win and cover the 7.5. I think the Cardinals are just going to rebuild. They're feisty. They're just not very good. And for that reason, I'm out. We've got another interesting game. We got the Steelers at the Rams. The Rams are 3-point favorites in this one. Patrick Peterson was given a rest day. Deontay Johnson was back to practice, full participant, so he should be back on Sunday. Kyren Williams did not practice, and he's going to miss a few weeks. So that's pretty big for the Rams offense. They haven't thrown the ball super well, though. Matt Stafford's having a really good season. I mean, you have Puka Nacua, you have Cooper Kupp back. That's a really good offensive threat right there. So those are the main injuries that I'm seeing on this injury report thing. This one's going to be an interesting game. It is in LA. The question is, I mean, the Steelers offense. I mean, Steelers defense has been good all season. It's just their offense hasn't been what they needed it to be, and I think that is a huge question mark when you run up to a defense that I'm not going to say is surprised people, but is a lot better than people thought. Byron Young, the edge, next to Aaron Donald, has been really good this season, and I feel like they've played good. Like I honestly can't name you a ton of people on this Rams defense, but they've been good. They've been in games, and their offense has been a huge part of that. But I mean, last week you held the Cardinals to, I think it was 6 or 9, and again, the Cardinals have been scoring points, like even on good defenses. So I don't know. That's an interesting one to me. I'm going to lean on the Rams. I think Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua are going to be a little too much for the Steelers, and I'm not sure if I trust that offense just yet. I'm going to need to see them put up a few touchdowns in a game for me to completely buy in on the Steelers. We've got the Chiefs at Chargers, an awesome game. We've got Herbert still dealing with his finger injury. Bosa was limited, as well as Sebastian Joseph Day. Justin Watson didn't practice. Sky Moore could see more opportunity, is what I'm reading. And the Chiefs just got Mecole back from the Jets. That'll be interesting. Not really sure how much he's going to play a factor into my pick here, but 5.5-point favorites for the Chiefs. Chargers kind of turtled there in that game against the Cowboys, but is that really anything different than we've seen from the Chargers in recent memory? Not really. It's kind of been their MO. The defense is still not great. I mean, they did hold the Cowboys to pretty low, but at that point, you had Justin Herbert with the ball in his hands at the last few possessions of the game, and just didn't bounce their way, missed some open throws. I just think the Chiefs are really good. High scoring game, so there could be some variance in this. Over under's 47.5, but I like the Chiefs. They're rolling right now. I think they're rounding into form. I think they're headed to these huge games against Miami. I could see a look ahead. I know they play Miami here soon, and I'm pretty sure they've decently owned the Chargers in the last little bit, but I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win and cover for the 5.5. I'll probably take them until they let me down. So give me the Chiefs to win and cover. We've got the Packers at Broncos. The Packers are 1.5-point favorites. This game kind of stinks, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one. Aaron Jones was limited. Quay Walker, Darnell Savage, and Eric Stokes were all limited as well on Thursday. Greg Dulcich was the only player who did not participate in practice for the Broncos. Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson were also limited participants in practice, so this game's just a weird one. I'm pretty sure the over-under this one's going to be really low. It's actually decently high, 45. That's kind of crazy. I'm not sure who they think is going to put up points in this game. Both offenses are weird, I would say. Not having Aaron Jones, I really think, makes the Packers one-dimensional. I'm not sure how much they trust Jordan Love currently. The Broncos offense has looked a little bit better. You know, give me the Broncos to win and cover this one at +1.5. I kind of like that you're getting the value. Their defense looked a little bit better last week. Their offense has looked good, and I think their defense can bounce back against Packers. I don't love what they're doing on offense right now, so this is a weird pick, and I don't love it, but give me the Broncos to win and cover. We've got the best game of the week. We've got the Dolphins at the Eagles. The Eagles are 2.5-point favorites. It's looking like Lane Johnson was a lateral ankle sprain. He's still not known, didn't practice on Wednesday. I'd assume he's going to go, just knowing how Lane Johnson is. Devonta Smith missed practice. Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Darius Slay, and Milton Williams were all limited. So those are pretty big injuries, especially if you're missing Jalen Carter again. I think this is a huge game if he misses. The Dolphins also had a large injury report. Xavier Howard, Alec Ingle, Connor Williams were all non-participants. Jalen Ramsey is coming back from his knee injury, so that's cool. Yeah, this game's gonna be electric. Super excited for this one. This is Sunday Night Football for a reason, and this game's just gonna be super fun to see. I really don't know where I lean right now. I mean, are the Eagles the best defense they're gonna run up against? Over under 51.5. There's gonna be points in this game, so either way, they really think this is gonna be some electric factory stuff. I don't even know where I think I lean. Part of me wants to lean Miami, but the Eagles at home, I'm not gonna say they're the best defense that the Dolphins have faced, but I think they're a good defense. They are banged up, so that's not great. This is a weird one. Give me the Eagles to win cover. I don't love either side. I think this is gonna be a fun game. This is a hard game to pick. Both teams are great. Both teams are gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna be teams vying for Super Bowl. So that's gonna be super fun to see. We've got the last game of the week. We've got the 49ers at the Vikings. Both teams don't have an injury report out right now. I don't think that I can see. It was big because Trent Williams, Debo, and Christian McCaffrey all went out against the Browns. So I don't know how many of them are actually going to play. That's going to be super interesting. But the line is still 7. I would not be shocked if you didn't see Christian McCaffrey go, or if you didn't see Debo, just because you have Ayuk, you have Kittle. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be shocked. You might see Trent Williams. Trent Williams is kind of just that dog. But I'm going to take the Niners to win, the Vikings to cover. I think 7 is too many points for how banged up they are. I don't see a world where the Vikings beat them, but I don't think the Vikings should be this heavily of dogs. So give me the Vikings to cover, the 49ers to win. And that's going to be it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Here are my picks. Let's hope we have another good week. Let me know what picks you guys are tailing, what you guys are fading. Just let me know what your favorite picks of the week are, and I will see you guys next time. Until next time, peace out and stay safe.